Hey guys, hope you guys are doing really well, no matter where you are. I just want to give you guys sort of an update, right? We have a lot of collectors within our community on the channel. We have a lot of fellow collectors of knives and watches around the world. And to me, I'm very humble to say I'm still at the very beginning chapter of my folding knives collection. I understand there's a whole lot of different level of craftsmanships and respect that paying to different knife designers and manufacturers throughout the time and in different parts of the world. But out of my humble opinion within my own collection, I've really made a clear view that Hinderer Knives is one of my favorite brands, especially when it comes to the classic American folders. And Hinderer Knives are very well known. They are one of the largest, if not one of the best well known premium hard user, impeccable manufacturing capability. Their prices on some of their knives used to trade 2 to 3 times higher than what they're selling at the retail. Um, in my humble opinion, I'm very lucky because I sort of got into the hobby later on the stage. So now seeing Huda Knives expanding their production capabilities, it is great to have the opportunity access some of the knives that wouldn't be able to access 5 or 6 years ago. And today's lineup within the Huda Knives is one of those models. We call this the XM series. And we call this XM24. Now, XM18 is the smaller size within that spectrum. Of course, there are two different models when it comes to XM18s. There's one for 3.5 inch, which is the standard size, and so there's a smaller one at 3 inch. But the XM24, however, is one step above that. Just looking at the numbers, right? So this is the proper 4-inch blade. This is on the higher sort of, this is what we call a full-size folding knife. So of course, when it comes to holistic design, someone might make a very objective view on those knives are very hard to carry in terms of EDC, everyday carry. And I agree with that. But if you are living on a ranch, if you are living in a big farm, if you have a large piece of property, and you get to do different stuff throughout the days on the weekends, looking after your yard. If you're that type of guy, then you would love to check them out if you haven't already. In saying that, I'm just gonna go very quickly with you in terms of the updates of what I've done with some XM24s because now they're all spec'd up with the titanium scale. This is exactly how I dreamed of my XM24 collection to be a couple years ago when I identified XM24 was the one that I want to get. But a story to that because Hinderer Knife was it's actually the first premium knife brand. I'm talking about beyond Benchman and Spartacus, full respect to them, but Hinderer Knives comes in a higher level than those brands. So Hinderer Knife was the first knife brand that I associate with, and very lucky there was a collector within the Australia community. Mind you, at the time, 2023, it was impossible to buy a brand new XM24. The accessibility of the XM24, especially with the one click blade, and I think a couple of I'm trying to think what was the blade shape they issued before the Warncliffe. Did they do any last year? I could be wrong, but I don't think they've done an proper XM24 for a long time. So in 2023, like I said, the initial opportunity to acquire XM24 was actually through a trade. So there was a local knife collector that wanted specifically a Benchmade Super Freak, the M4 blade, plus I think what he wanted at the time was a different kinds of Benchmade. But what I had was I did have the Super Freak M4 and also had the bug out, the M390 Premium, spec'd out, bugged out in aluminum scale. And he was kind enough to agree on a trade with this XM24 here. Of course, the titanium scale that you're looking right now was something that I was only able to buy about a month ago from the ranches. And now, guess what? Those scales, they're all gone. And it becomes increasingly popular, in high demand. But I think you have to really wait a bit, even with the higher level of production that Hinderer knives do nowadays. Now, so the knife that I traded, again, was those two Benchmade that cost maybe in combined value around that sort of $550. I think was a great trade because no one could get an XM24 back in the days. So this XM24 came in a G10 black scale with a battle bronze finish on the lock side, a working finish blade with the battle bronze matching hardware. And it was fantastic to have it. I still remember the very first initial impression when I had XM24 in my hands. They were heavy, they were large, but more importantly, it was a piece of art that really combined the roughness, the solidarity of workmanship and high user with some of the overall design that really just speaks to me on many different levels. So since that day, I was hooked with the XM24, and about 2.5 years later on, now I have 4. Will I continue buying XM24? I don't think so, because I'll never say no to ever, right? But I think there is maybe a different blade shape that I want to get into, maybe a spirit point, a traditional spirit point, a spanto blade. I think that would be fantastic because I do have 2 of them in the shipfoot. Did I say one clip before? But one clip was the one that is sort of produced about a year ago. Yes, the 2 ship's foot. So I have a duplicate blade style, but of course one in working finish and one in stone wash. But it will be fantastic to get a spanto blade or a traditional spear point, or even a harpoon. I think either of those 3 blades shape will do the job for the next one, or perhaps 2 when it comes to my XM24 collection. I'm gonna go through them again very quickly and hope you enjoy the video. If you're a fan of folding knives, if you're getting into more in depth with the brand of Hinderers, or you're just getting to more generally expensive knives, hopefully this is going to give you peace of mind because I'm going to be here with you guys. Don't be afraid, ask any questions you want in the comment section below, and I'll be very excited and happy to join the discussion with my fellow collectors down below. Now I'm going to go through the ones on the right. So this one, as I said, is the battle bronze. So this is something you're going to be careful of. When you're buying a Hinderer knives, you want to make sure if you are going in the direction of all titanium spec, make sure your show side titanium scale matches the knife that you came in with, which is this one is the battle bronze. So make sure you go get a battle bronze titanium scale for a battle bronze lock side. If it's a stone wash lock side, just like many of the others, then make sure you get a stone wash scale side. If it's a battle blue, battle blue. If it's anodized blue, anodized blue. If it's a battle, what else colors they're doing out there? If it's a working finish, working finish. You get the whole point. Don't compromise on that. I think that's an extraordinarily important point to make because those parts are very hard to come by. And if you end up with the wrong color, that's not going to match up pretty well. It will be it won't be a horrible situation to be in, but I think you'll be pretty sad about yourself because you didn't check out the spec and details. Again, back to the knife. We have a battle bronze build. I absolutely love the Horsehead laser finishing here. I think it's doing extremely well. I love the stonewash finish blades. I think it gives a very classic CPM 20 CV, especially with this ship's foot. I think it gives a very vintage vibe of traditional photo knives on a larger scale that people uses 50, 100, 200 years ago. I think it just speaks volume to me in this spec, especially with the color of choices, the overall style, the choices of battle bronze color, as well as the working finish blade. I think this is a very sweet combo. I put out in Tasman number 1. I'll put it here. This is truly one of my favorite. Okay, so If I talk about the favorite, I'm gonna go my second favorite, which is the one here. See, I'm learning something about myself within my own knife collection. The second one that I love the best is, this is something I paid full table price as well. So we're looking at a texturized stonewash finish, which is very hard to see. You can really count it by the number of knives you ever seen on the forums about a stonewashed PJ finish lock style. I think this is extraordinary, with of course the CPM20CV in ship's foot finish. This one is in stonewash finish rather than of course the working finish to the previous one. I love it. This one with again the horse head scale, very PJ look, very basic, but at the same time, it gives you a very classic, very modern Hinderer looks. It's just going. The action, of course, is amazing. I think it's fantastic matchup. Hope you guys like it. This is something that is not that really common to see on the market, and of course, I think this one will be a keeper to keep as well. The next one that we have on the show is a Bowie blade shape. I love it. I really love this blade shape. I think it's so American. This is so cool. And of course, when it comes to scowl, I really love this scowl. This is from Curtis Berry. Curtis Berry, I think we have the signature down here somewhere. It's probably hard for you guys to see, but this is from Curtis Berry's business called, I think, Sunshine, Midnight Sunshine. I could be wrong, but this is his work. I think years ago, this one was selling about 450 USD because Hinderer Knives wasn't really in a position to catch up with their own demand. So it gave a great opportunity to aftermarket player such as Curtis. And the quality of this, I just want to give a proper shout out to Curtis Berry. I have to be honest with you guys here. The finishing, the contouring, the edges of the Curtis Berry, I'm not ashamed to say so, I think is a little bit better than Hinderer knives. Again, I love them. As you guys can see, I spent a lot of money on 3 of them. But Curtis Berry scale, this is, should I say, refined. This is not milled, just to give you guys a comparison. With the Hinderer knife, especially with the new scales, you can see they are fully milled out. So naturally, it's going to save a lot of weight. But when it comes to Curtis Berry, of course, you can't really buy it now. They're purely existing on the secondary marketplaces. They are not milled. So it really adds maybe about, I don't know, between 25 to 50 grams of metal, of titanium. But again, I don't think it really changed the characteristics of the Hinderer knife, especially in the format of XM24. And the last one that I have here guys is a very unique one. This S stands for skinny. So this is, if you're looking at the size, I'm going to use this as a stock scale. You can see this is a tad skinnier than the XM24 full size. I think the reason behind this idea is ingenious, because now this can fit in your pocket like a bug out. It's not going to be like a bug out, but this is going to be fitting your pocket like a dream because how slim this is. With the traditional deployment style of flipper, it is such a worker. This with such a strong tip and so slicey blade, this one will be a dream to work with day in, day out. We call this as the worn clip blades. Is very iconic Hinderers, and I think I'm just very lucky to have these blades in the collection as well. So there you go, guys. 4 Hinderer knives. Do I love this one the most? I think I do. Can I sort of sequence those 3 from the 2s to the 4s? Look, let's just call it a day. I think I'm extremely blessed to have all of them in my collection and rotation when I'm doing my yard work, when I'm just spending a bit of time with myself. I think they are tremendous company and companion for any man in the world. And you know what? For all the men out there, if you're watching this, I'm hoping you have a great day. To all the collectors, hope you guys are doing well. and peace out.